host. The topic of discussion, looking at women in business as it is today. And still with me is Nyabhara Julian, who is the Executive Director, Uganda Women in Trade and Manufacturing. And we're looking at how women can position themselves for regional trade and also position themselves to at least participate in the African continental free trade area and to see the expansion and growth of women business. All right, and now let's have a look at the achievements of the women in business that have been there throughout the years or just recently in this country.
There are a lot of achievements that have been achieved by women engaging in business. We have a huge number of women in business in this country. I think statistics show that Uganda is the second country in the world with the biggest number of women in business, or women who are starting businesses. So that's huge for us. So if we look at the several achievements that we can attribute to that, is mentorship. For example, because of some women starting businesses, it has encouraged and mentored others to start businesses. So the mentoring part, whereby I see one woman starting and running a successful business, and I'm like, I'm also going to start one. So that's something that we need to applaud, that those who started have been able to mentor others to start. That's a huge achievement. The other achievement that we can look at is that we have had a very big boost when it comes to loan acquisition. So that is supporting the financial sector. So many women have tried to acquire loans to support their businesses, and that has supported the financial sector, the banking sector. So though they get small loans, but they are in huge numbers. So that's a very huge achievement. And then we also have new businesses that are starting every time. And if you notice that most women businesses tend to be inherited by family members or by children. That's one trend that is interesting, that most women-owned businesses tend to be inherited by family. They are passed on to family. I do not know whether it's because of the way they manage their businesses, but it's easier to find a woman who is either no longer active in business, but you find that her business is being run by her children or is being run by family members. So there is, women have contributed some continuity when it comes to the business sector, which is not common with men, by the way. I do not know why. The other issue is that the women being in business has contributed to a lot of training. They tend to impact a lot of skills to either their children or to their workers. When women are running businesses, they want to teach someone to run the business the same way. So you find, let's say, 2 family members or 3 family members or the children or some other people they employ, they tend to want to impact these skills to other people. So there is transfer of knowledge and skills. It's easier with women. There is something, I think, something about us and nurturing someone to be able to do and stand on their own. I think that's a motherly instinct in us as women. The other thing is empowerment of women. Generally, when a woman is running her own business, she's empowered. Whether educated or not, that doesn't matter, but she's empowered. She's able to make decisions, she's able to contribute to family, she's able to contribute to her own well-being, she's able to contribute to her family, she's able to contribute to a home that has a woman running a business. They are likely not to be in the same position like a home that doesn't have a woman running a business. So women who are running businesses tend to be open-minded. They tend to do things on their own. They tend to be self-driven. They tend to be independent, not in a bad way, but they easily make decisions that at the end of the day, they are very impactful. It's hard to find a home where a woman is running a business and children are not going to school. They have to go to school in one way or another, because she assumes that's her responsibility. Then we end up having better standards in homes, like I've said, because when women are running businesses, it's easier to even manage a home. Then the other thing is that women contribute to the economy. They pay taxes. There is a report that was passed some time back, I think 1 month ago, 2 months ago, whereby Uganda Revenue Authority was actually reporting that women were the best taxpayers. So that's very encouraging, and that's very, we need to applaud the women, and we need to thank them for being able to contribute to the economy. We need to thank them for being able to take on their national responsibilities. So I think all we have to do now is, as government, as enterprises, as a media house like this, to women, push them further to ensure they get better.
Okay.
Otherwise, advantages of women running businesses override disadvantages.
Okay.
Yes.
And looking at the fact that you've mentioned government coming in through, has government in any way helped some of these women, for example, during this post-COVID-19 recovery? Because there was a time government was giving out recovery funds for SMEs, for different sectors. Did the women in business ever get a special package from the government?
The special package I remember is the Women Empowerment Fund that was under the Ministry of Gender. That was before COVID. I do not know whether it's still there now, but I think they had issues at one time. So I do not know how it progressed after COVID.
Okay.
But after COVID, if you walk to most banks, and I'm saying this from first-hand information, like something that I've done. If you walk to these banks for the after-COVID fund, you will not get that money. You will not get. Probably the money will be there, but the requirements are a bit of limiting. For example, they will tell you we cannot give you beyond 5 million. Then they fund certain sectors. For example, some banks will tell you we are only funding bars, businesses, bars and restaurants, and then schools. So you ask yourself, if I get a loan of 5 million and I'm going to fund a school, what will that money do? Okay. So I don't think that we've had favorable packages for women for after COVID. And then UDB, that's I don't think that's very favorable for women on all standards, because the requirements are way too high for the average woman. We are talking about an average woman, though there are women who can afford those loans from UDB, but for an average businesswoman in this country, I think it is way beyond them. Okay. So that's why we are calling on government to ensure that let them design programs or products that fit the trends, the needs of the women. Okay. Otherwise, if you look at the requirements of Uganda Development Bank, I would be interested to look at the statistics of how many women have been able to acquire loans from UDB. I would be very, very much interested to know how many women have been able to qualify for those loans. Okay. And then when we go to these other small funds that were given to banks, I would also be interested to know how much money has actually been disbursed to business women, because the statistics are not good. So I think government and other government agencies are not being very fair to the business women. And I make a call, I will look in this camera and make a call to government agencies that you're not being very fair to the women, business women.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, as we're finally summing up our discussion, what would be your last few words in regards to, one, the women in business, our topic of discussion today,
yes,
and what next for the women?
What we need as women, we always, when we sit and talk as women in our associations, in our groups, we don't need handouts.
Okay.
As business women, we don't need handouts. We just need support from the relevant bodies. If it is URA, how is it supporting us? If it is UNBS, how is it supporting us? How is it URSB? How is it supporting the formalization and registration of businesses? Are they being accessible enough to us? And then when it comes to running these businesses, we do not want free money. We are not looking out for free money because we've been able to find a way of survival. If a woman starts a small factory, a small cottage industry in her house, how are you able to come in and give her a push such that she can move from one level to the other? For example, by ensuring that UNBS doesn't complicate the process of standardizing her products. Those are some of the key small support that we want. We are not calling for free money. No, we are not calling for that. We are calling for support, relevant support, support that is due to us from government entities. Because women pay taxes. I mean, we pay taxes. We need infrastructure development. How are we ensuring that women are attached to these incubation centers that are owned by government? What's the process of being able to qualify to go to an incubation center? If I cannot afford a factory of 5 billion, but can I start from an incubation center, a government incubation center, such that I'm able to grow to a certain level, and then another woman is also supported, and then another woman is also supported, and then together as a nation, we see a way we can grow our economy. So, about the East African, which was our key discussion this morning, about the East African
community bloc and
the community bloc. I call upon the women out there, please. Women, this is a chance for us to grab this opportunity that we've got. We are now dealing with over a population of 177 million. There is so much Uganda can deliver to Kenya. There is so much Uganda can deliver to Congo when it comes, let's say, to agro business, agro products. There is so much we can deliver to these countries surrounding us. But how are we grabbing the opportunity? And how are we ready? How are we formalizing our businesses? How are we standardizing our products to ensure that when these markets open, fully open, we know with Congo there is a bit of some insecurity. When it comes to Rwanda and Congo, there is a bit of some not so stable security there. But then the fact that leaders have opened the discussion and agreements have been signed, protocols have been signed, how are we preparing ourselves? How are we strategizing ourselves? What is the Export Promotion Board doing for the women? What is the Export Promotion Board doing for the women? What is Uganda Investment Authority doing for women? Such that even us women can sit on the table with you and have a discussion that will push us to the next level. Because women are the backbone of the economy. Because we are the majority. And we are the ones who make things happen.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then you have it, they are the ones that make things happen. Women in business is our discussion today, looking at how women can tap into the opportunities on the East African community bloc and as well as the African continent to position themselves and see the expansion of their business. These are some of the key discussions we've been having this morning with Nyabhara Julian, who is the Executive Director Ugandan Women in Trade and Manufacturing. And thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our topic of discussion, but then it switches us to the SMB Insight.
Thank you.
government-aided schools. And when you look at their fee structure, it has 28 items that are indicated on it. When you look at these 28 items, for example, there is
Honorable, we don't have much time, please, just go on.
So my request, therefore, as I talk about the secondary school fee structure, is to ask government to standardize it. Because if you're having 28 items on a school fee structure, for example, Board of Governor fees of 598,000 and a school with 1,000 students, that's 598 million going into just the Board of Governors. You look at school uniform.
It is true, given the escalating prices of commodities, including fees, food, and many other items, including scholasticas, the Ministry of Education is not exceptional. True that schools have held conference and they plan to increase school fees due to the rising prices of commodities. And I want to inform this House that my ministry, as by law, the Education Act of 2008, mandated to form a statutory instrument that regulates the school fees and other school-related matters. Colleagues, as we pledge here sometimes back,
Let the minister first. Yeah.
The ministry has already put in place the statutory instrument which is being reviewed by the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And in the meantime, bring out the instrument to be laid on the table here. There are procedures in the ministry for any school to increase the school fees through the Board of Governors, through the School Management Committee, which have got the representative of parents and other stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, I want to inform my colleague that indeed the issue of school fees is real and the increment is real, but as a ministry, we already taken measures to ensure the school fees are within the framework for the parents as approved by the Board of Governors or by the School Management Committee. As far as the issue of low enrollment for secondary education...
But Honourable Minister, this is a matter which can run out of hand, and we don't even satisfy ourselves. We don't satisfy ourselves. So, Committee on Education, the document